Hi, my name is Shirin.
I'm Kyan.
I'm Taraneh.
And we are Unmarried Persian Girls.
Lay la lay la lay. Lay la lay la lay. La 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 lay la lay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Unmarried Persian Girls. As I mentioned before, my name is Shirin. It means sweet. I am.
Are you though?
32 years old, and I was made in Iran. I lived in a few other countries as well, but now I am settled in the UK, and I am literally unmarried because I unmarried myself. I used to be married, but now I am unmarried and happy.
Atta girl, just for the show, right?
Yes.
I'm Kyan. I beat you by a year. I'm 33 and unmarried.
Yes.
I know. What a faux pas. Born in the US, but grew up in Canada. But I'm very attached to the Persian culture. So here I am.
Nice. Welcome.
Are you interested, Taraneh? She wants my green card. I can feel it.
What? You were born in the U.S.
She's looking at me with green in her eyes.
I should talk to you after.
Okay. Actually, I am unmarried, so we can do this. It's
focus,
now,
girls.
you know.
Focus.
I find you really pretty.
First impressions always are most important part of the conversation. Make a good first impression so everybody will subscribe to our channel. Okay?
Okay, I'll try. Hi. My name is Taraneh, and I was born and raised in Iran, Tehran, Sadat.
Wow.
And then I came to Canada 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, and I am unmarried and very, very hot. So.
Oh my God. I mean, you ruined the whole
You realize this isn't a sex show, right?
Listen to us anymore.
I just meant that I am unmarried and I could really use a good husband.
She's trying to find a husband, okay?
I'm
Cut
not-
her some slack.
Yeah.
I'm not trying, but you should always ask.
I'm not sure
You know?
if this show is going to find you any husband. It's on the contrary. It's going to probably repel everyone.
Watch me.
But you're not doing
Watch
a good
me.
job.
I'll get married
By the end of this year, mark my words.
I promise you, just to prove you wrong, I'll get married from this show.
Just to spite you,
That's
and
the
then she'll
problem.
divorce after.
That's the whole problem with this whole marriage thing, which we are going to talk about it. But let me tell you, that's the problem. We want to prove to others wrong. Okay?
This guy
marriage
named
is not
Asghar.
about that.
Name guy Asghar is gonna watch our show. Asghar, leave me a comment
Does it
below.
have to be an Asghar,
I
though?
love Asghar.
Asghar sounds like he's 50 years old. Is that
If you
cool?
watch my stories, I love Asghars. I don't know
All
why.
right.
They're usually bald.
Nobody will watch your stories because people are going to watch UPG stories on Instagram and everywhere else. UPG being Unmarried Persian Girls. But
Shirin, why don't you tell us what we're doing here?
yeah, exactly. I was going to say that as maybe you have already gathered, we are on this show. We are going to talk about things related to unmarried Persian girls. And we are going to discuss taboos about our culture, the way we talk to each other, our relationships, and we are going to be fearless into going into conversations that we don't usually have. We don't talk about them, about our parents, relationships, families, and stuff like that. So. Stay
so
tight.
things that are basically shameful to talk about in the culture, we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And we might get into some trouble, but here we are. It's our opinion, actually. We will
yeah.
say that.
This is an opinion show, so we all talk about what we think. You don't have to agree with us. We don't agree with each other anyways. No hard feelings.
Yeah. This is based on our own experiences. So
don't come on social media and bombard us with your nonsense. And
if you're gonna yell at someone, yell at Taraneh. I think
you leave me comments and say that you're very, very love me. You're very, very love
you very, very love me.
You're very, very
yes,
love
my
happiness
darling.
is coming
Maybe
out.
you just stay beautiful and don't talk. Okay?
You're very, very lovely.
I'm gonna talk.
All right, guys. So since
Okay.
Can I speak?
Okay, sorry.
So since this show is literally called Unmarried Persian Girls, you can already guess what the first episode is about. Do we have to get married? This is, I mean, like for as long as I remember, in our culture, a nice Persian girl is supposed to get married. It's basically the only way to be. You can't just not get married. How could you? No, you have to. So that's what we're going to get into today.
Get into it.
Let's get into it.
Shirin,
you start off. Tell us your experiences.
Right. With me, my family my family is not that traditional family, so they never said like, oh, come on, you should get married, you should get married, you should get married. But the whole like concept of marriage started to like introduce itself to me since I was like 10 years old or so. And that was because as a child, as a young girl, female child, I used to be very, as you can also see here, I used to be very extrovert and like expressive. I love dancing. So I used to like dance in all mehmuni parties and everything. So mothers who used to be like very far relatives, like the cousin of the sister-in-law of my auntie would be like, would have some few sons. And they would come to me and be like, oh my God, you danced so beautiful. I can't wait for you to become my bride to my son.
I wonder why your dancing equated to you being the bride. Like, what were you doing in your dances? Like, doing some reproductive dancing?
Oh, she can dance well.
She looks like she's fertile.
Can satisfy my son like a bird dancing and like courting and stuff.
I would marry you.
Have you seen her dance though? I don't know. I think we should see her dance first.
I have, unfortunately.
Oh, she has.
No, to that point, I will say so me and my family would go to Iran almost every summer, just so us Western kids could practice the language and get to know the culture. And I noticed this as I got older. Every time I would go back, I have two brothers and distant relatives, very distant relatives. It's always the distant relatives, They would turn to my brothers and say, they would turn to my brothers and say, oh, inshallah muwaffaq bashi o kar khub payda kani o puldar beshi. Like, I hope you become successful and rich and find a good job and this and that. And then turn to me, the female, and say, inshallah shohar khub payda kani. Like, I hope you find a good husband. And I wanted to go, that is the only thing I'm good for here. Imagine being a teenager and hearing that. It was very disappointing. So that was my first, like kind of aha moment of like,
You're
oh my God, what is wrong with our culture?
That was the case. I wonder if it is still the case with like the younger generation. Taraneh.
That's true. I would hope it's changed.
I don't know about everybody else, but with me, all my like grandmas and like older people in my family, they were so strict about education. So they would wish for me the things they wish for your brother.
Wow. So times have changed.
Yeah.
Glad to hear this.
Like you just don't even think about boys, go study. Like they're just going to take waste your time. And my mom is divorced, so she's very concerned and cautious.
That explains it, actually.
And she was telling me that Dr. Holakwi says you have to get married after 26. So she was telling me that get married as late as you can. And you don't even have to get married, and it was never a pressure on me.
I mean, I think that's the reason why your family didn't push you towards marriage was because, like, for example, your mom experienced divorce, and usually when I talk about marriage on my social media, and everyone knows that I'm kind of like not really a fan of marriage, women who are married or who are divorced know what I'm talking about. Because of all the
I guess we won't know what the hell you're talking
that comes with marriage in our culture and society. But I don't think I still don't think that it's the new generation is still under the pressure of the young women have to get married. And I don't agree with that. You're lucky.
I don't know about you guys, but I have always felt that in our culture there's this attitude that to be a nice Persian girl, you have to basically like, preserve your virginity and maintain your beauty and this and that. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't allowed to date till I was like well into my 20s. And I was I will say I was a virgin way later than I should be. I mean, there's no specific age to it.
Did you not sneakily date people?
I mean, I was a good girl, unfortunately. I wish I wasn't. I know.
You were that's literally an issue. A nice girl.
I was literally, that changed pretty quickly as I got into my 20s. But it's a shame because I missed out on a lot of experiences that I should have had.
You did.
I don't. No, I will say not just sexually, but I mean with dating. Like there's a lot of lessons that you're supposed to learn earlier that I didn't get till.
It's
my
better
20s.
to get brokenhearted later than earlier, huh?
Oh my God!
So?
What do you know?
I disagree.
When was the first time you started dating?
Very, very young.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you saying? What is it that you're saying?
They broke my heart.
I mean, you're 22 years old and you're
I've been dating for like probably 10 years now. Wow.
10 years.
I started when I was like 13.
What is happening in Tehran?
I told you, Taraneh is too young for these conversations. It's just like she sticks to the beat.
Too young? She's more experienced than me. What are you talking about?
I told you we shouldn't have her on the show. I told you.
Yeah.
You did tell her? Oh,
no.
Oh yeah?
I'm not supposed to say
or did I?
But no, my point being is that like there's this whole mentality that kind of restricts females. My point is that you're supposed to experience and learn things.
You're right.
And be independent, but at least I felt I was very restricted and had to kind of like be a good girl and get good grades, and then at a certain point in time I would magically find this wonderful husband that just showed up without even dating. Somehow he just shows up to the doorstep.
Prince Charming, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you leave your shoe somewhere and he come for you.
Yeah.
Honestly,
so, I mean, well, even with like I wasn't even like I was pretty athletic, and I was literally taken out of soccer because I was like pretty rough, and I started like getting all these scars, and because my mother wanted to preserve my beauty.
Oh my God.
I know, beauty.
She wanted to keep your virginity.
No, like she wanted to make sure I was intact and
like no scars.
It's a thing in Iran. They prevent girls from like jumping from high heights, or like say don't go horseback riding, don't dive into the pool because the curtain might be ripped.
Hold on. Diving into a pool, you can lose your virginity that way? Can you enlighten me? How is that possible?
They say that.
How is that?
Guys, I'll explain later.
Oh, you mean like jumping, like not diving, but like jumping.
Yes.
Okay,
jumping
got it.
With your
yes. With your legs open. This is a revelation.
Okay.
Even
honestly,
it's not. There's no such thing as like a curtain in your vagina to be ripped.
I think it's not curtain in English. It's like hymen.
What's a hymen? Hymen. Yeah. Hymen. Curtain just sounds filthy.
In Farsi we say
Perde, right? Oh, that is terrible.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
inappropriate.
Okay.
We're Persian, guys.
Yes,
you're supposed to be a nice Persian girl.
Your
Shirin.
mama's gonna see this.
Yeah, well, let's hope not. God help us.
So I prepared myself for this show, but I didn't prepare this point that I'm going to talk about because it happened right before I come here. Okay. And this is going to show that Persians still to this day do care about being married, especially for girls. So I went to a restaurant and I saw one of my old friends. She's Persian, but she was born here. She has a kid. She's not married. And I was with my other Persian older friends, and she's sitting down with us, and she's like, I was like, oh my God, can you believe she has a kid? Because she's very young. And first thing they ask, are you married yet? To her. And that's not even appropriate to ask. And she's like, no, I'm too young, not yet. But they still care about it.
So she had a child, but not married.
She has a boyfriend, yeah.
Oh, they're saying like how like inappropriate that you have a child and you're not married. Is that
Iranian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that they, in our I don't know, in our
you're one of them. Oh my God, you're one of them.
You're so judgmental.
Get the hell out of here.
If you have a child, you should get married, my darling.
So wait, Taraneh, since you're more recent from Iran and
Okay.
you kind of like lived there for a while, how would you say it's different over there?
Honestly,
the
there
attitude towards marriage.
Okay, so when you get into a relationship, not it always doesn't last. So you are wasting or spending some of your time with someone. You want to get something out of it when you're coming out. Here, if you live with someone, even if you're not married, common law and stuff, you live with someone for 3 years. When you're coming out of the relationship, you have some rights. But in Iran, unless you're not married, you have no right over anything. Even so, for women,
It's even
to have
like
some
it's
right,
even worse. Like it's going to be very cheating and harmful. Now, what is the opposite of beneficial? Like, yeah, it's going to
like,
be
harmful.
What is it?
You said it. You said harmful.
unbeneficial.
Um,
Disbeneficial.
Maybe like it's going to make it worse that you, as a woman in Iran, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right that if you are in a relationship and not married, it's
Yeah.
going to like cause serious problems for you when it comes to
So you're
authorities
saying
and stuff.
it's viewed as a time waster if you're not married. You're basically
Yeah.
wasting your time and you're not going to get anything out of it.
That's
so is
absolutely
it,
what I'm
is it
saying.
all about financial gain or what? Like what's the view of
Listen,
it?
you have to put your emotions aside.
Now we know where her mind is.
At the end
I
of
will
the day,
introduce you, Dr. Holapu's daughter, ladies and gentlemen.
at the end of the day, you can't just break up with someone and not get anything out of it if you worked for it. Actually, like if you worked, whatever. Other than that, it's
I'm not touching that one. Okay.
it's status too. Okay.
Okay, so it's like there's more chaos if
Just
you're married.
listen
over
to
there.
this.
Okay.
You go to an interview, they ask you if you're married or not, even though they can't even ask
Iran?
you that in Canada. Yeah, in Iran.
Okay.
If you are not married, unmarried girls are kind of like labeled as bad women sometimes.
What?
So they don't, like, مثلا میگن مطلقه, they just don't have a good look at it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Can you explain
If
why?
I'm
a
so
little,
that's different.
this is new for
if
me.
If you're mutallaqah like me, then
wait, question. What does you guys? My Persian's not that good. What is
mutallaqah?
mutallaqah?
Means divorced.
Ah, okay. So
it's referred to females. Mutallaqah. It's like a female, a divorced female person.
Yeah.
And the society doesn't, at least the traditional or in small cities or not like except for Tehran, which is a capital. In other cities, if you're mutallaqah, I remember that from like my cousins, second cousins who did get divorced. Now I'm just thinking about what a big pressure people and relatives put on their shoulders. Like I remember a cousin of mine, she got married, but she got divorced 2 years after that. And we all looked at her as like
this like
gone
bad
bad.
negative thing.
And it's
Like
so
just bad. Like
now
it's her fault that they got a divorce.
God,
But other than
yeah.
that, when I'm talking about status, it's just when you go to get a job, usually if the boss is not a pervert looking for single girls, they usually prefer women that are married.
Just so like the men won't hit on her, like just so they can have.
because
Like,
probably
ask
they're
them,
more like
Yeah.
committed in life.
That's
and they're
messed
not-
up. So that's literally an interview question for women in Iran. Are
my
you
God.
married?
Yes.
Wow, that's fucked up.
So that they know that you're not gonna just like, because women don't have the best image out there in Islamic Republic of Iran, because they all say that it's all women that do all the bad things.
Of
and-
course,
yeah,
it's where we're
right?
responsible for everything
So
bad.
so at least they say, okay, she's married, she's not gonna go.
So if a
fuck
married
anybody else.
so if a married man at the workplace has a relation with the single woman, it's the single woman's fault because she tempted
Abso-fucking-lutely.
him with her.
Yeah,
Like what are you're not even allowed to
misguided him.
show anything
She was
really.
the one who
she is
lured
corrupted.
him into doing sin and all
by
that.
looking at her, looking at him
that's-
with like all the chai and stuff,
Oh wow.
you know.
But I mean,
Guys.
wow, that's fucked up. I didn't know that. I will say that in our culture, I've noticed that, for example, if a 40-year-old man is unmarried, it's
Yes.
like, whatever. You don't think anything of it. But if a 40-year-old woman is unmarried, it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? Like, I literally have a friend. She's I literally have a friend. Guys, I have friends.
Oh my
Did
God,
you do? No, she's 40 years old, beautiful, successful, happy, like ecstatically happy person, and you know she doesn't need marriage. It's just not something that's on her mind.
Yeah.
And she was telling me she was at a party, like a mehmuni or something, and she was just having fun and like, you know, smiling and being happy. And a woman, and, you know, I will say an older woman who has a husband and kids.
A wicked bitch.
I was trying to be polite about it, but she turns to her, my friend, and says, why are you so happy? You're not even married.
What?
Oh
Like
my
the audacity to
God.
blatantly
What
tell
the
her that
fuck
because
is
she's
that? Like,
and
what
she
kind
turned
of
my
question?
friend. Right. My friend turns to her like, wait, do I need a husband to be happy? Like, I feel so sorry for you that's how you think. Like, that's the mentality that some women have in our culture.
Dude, that's
unfortunately.
the problem. Like, that's the thing. I have heard this with my own ears and in first hand that, as you said, if a guy is in his 40s and he is not married, people will say, or his parents probably, his mother will say, my Shumbul Tala has escaped the trap. Shumbul Tala is golden willy.
I
Yeah.
I know Dudul Tala, but sure, go on.
Shumbul
Different
or
names
Dudul,
for it.
doesn't
Same
matter.
thing, really.
The thing is that he has a golden private
Penis.
part and we don't.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah, by the way, why is there no such thing for the woman? Like, there's no I don't know,
don't
what's
get-
the
don't
vagina?
even
Max
get me started
Max
on that.
Amini said that. Max Amini just did make up a word for it.
For women, like
Yeah.
Persian women. What is the word?
I don't remember.
don't say it.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Back to you,
Girls,
Shirin.
stay nice, girls. We may be able to find happiness at some point, and someone will come and make us their woman.
I'm happy.
Wait,
Because-
Shirin, you don't even believe in the Institute of Marriage.
Yeah,
do
I'm
you?
being sarcastic, my darling.
Institution of Marriage, I will say, not.
Institution of marriage. Before that, let me finish what I wanted to say with that. A 40-year-old man is perceived as someone who could escape the trap of getting into a commitment, and he will be applauded and encouraged, whereas a 40-year-old woman will be perceived as someone who is lonely, who is not going to be happy. That's why you are depressed. That's why this and that. Don't you want kids? This all are problems that we need to address. And
100%.
institution of marriage, the thing is that I have thought about it a lot. Generally, I'm against it. I got married because of this very problem that we are talking about. My family did not acknowledge my partner who I lived with as my partner. They didn't acknowledge on, like, if we were on Skype, my dad would just leave the video call if he was in the picture.
Wait,
And
so you got married just to get your family to acknowledge him? Is that?
I got married. I told my ex partner, he wasn't. None of us believed in marriage. We didn't want to get married because, for me personally, marriage is a spell. It was like a spell back then. And for him, he also came from a family his parents were divorced. My parents are not divorced, but to me, after a certain age, I realized that marriage doesn't guarantee shit. Okay, that's why I didn't want to get married. Anyways, just because he didn't get acknowledged and I didn't get the respect that I want, I got married and I got divorced after that because it didn't guarantee my happiness. So now,
if your experience was different, though, would you still have the same opinion? You'd be against marriage? If, like, for example, if it worked out and life was great, would you still?
It wouldn't have worked out because I wasn't 100% sure about me wanting to spending the rest of my life with that person. I was just with him, and this is the way it should be. But now, if I'm happily in a relationship, but neither of us wants to get married because my problem is that marriage today is an option It's not a necessity. And the society, the traditional culture of our culture is still traditional, and they think that everyone has to at some point get married, and this makes me want to not get married.
I mean, I'm not against marriage. I think it's if it's done for the right reasons, if you really love someone and you want to spend your life with them for the right reasons, not for financial gain or status or I don't know what the fuck else people get married for. If you really love this person, you want to spend your life with them, and you want to become a team and unit, I'm all for marriage. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I love the family unit, and I think getting married kind of like secures bounds you to that other person, and if you have kids, it kind of, you feel good, you feel like you're bound together. So if you have a fight, then
that's where I disagree with you, because
hello, hi.
All right, Taraneh, you're here. What do you think?
Hi. Thank you.
Well, what's your opinion on this?
There's one thing that I want the partner that I have.
Get there faster, woman.
She's like so nauseous about it.
Call me. I want him to call me my wife. And until you don't get married, they usually don't call you wife. They're like my girlfriend, my fiance, and then it's my wife.
So you want to get married just so you can be called wife?
No. Listen, I'm not done. I don't want to get married, but usually.
Really? Go on. Okay, I'll stop talking.
No, you just like
catch
things that I don't really mean.
I focus on the things that she's saying, but she doesn't mean. Go on.
I do want my future partner to call me wife, but they don't usually call you wife after you get married. So that's one thing.
I'm sorry, what do they call you then?
Like fiance?
Bitch?
What? No, there's like my fiance is coming. They don't say my wife's coming. Oh. But then the one day after you get married, they call you my wife's coming.
Okay. So wait, are you for or against marriage?
I don't care about the marriage itself as long as we have a wedding.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I get Taraneh.
Okay, this is a problem. Okay, this is my point exactly. Married for the right reasons, not to have that fairy tale beautiful wedding.
No, I choose my partner that I want to live with forever. Yeah. And then I don't give a shit if we want to put it on paper, because obviously I don't want him to get my money, so we don't have to get married.
There's such a thing as a prenup, right? You can
just what's with all the paper? Let's just not do anything.
I agree. All right, guys, can I say something?
So forget the marriage. So you just want to have a party and you want to wear a white dress.
Yes, please.
Okay, hi, Shirin. Go on. Back to you, Shirin.
Don't you know that I want all the attention on me?
Yes, I know, but I want attention too. Like I was really upset the past 10 minutes. You didn't let me talk.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, listen.
I'm just kidding.
No, I have personally, for me, I understand what Taraneh says. I think marriage is a man-made concept, because us women, we like happiness. We like events that make us feel great, and a wedding is like that, right?
Wait, you're saying it's a man-made institution?
Like human.
Marriage? Is that a fact? Where did you dig this up? What are you talking about?
Listen,
before they wouldn't get married, they just fuck everybody in the.
That's true. Like, you mean back in the caveman days?
Like the tribe? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, go on. Go on, Shirin. We're listening.
And I hope that when you get married, Kyan,
yes,
I really hope, and I pray to God, Allah, Jesus, everyone. I pray that marriage will secure your relationship. If you have someone in your life that you feel secured and committed and everything, you will not need that paper sign.
Absolutely,
and marriage in itself, marriage in today's life is just a business contract. Thank you. I'm Shirin, and I'm done.
Do you pay for it?
It is a choice. You can get married. Listen, there are benefits to getting married, because if I was to, there's such a thing as common law. But for example, if I'm with a person and I have kids with them, being married to them kind of makes you feel secure that, like, if you get into a fight, you'll work it out. But if you're not married, in my opinion, either person can just walk away and say, fuck this.
That's
not
true. If your relationship is actually like important to you, me and my boyfriend fight every day, but we always know that we get back together.
I don't know. Maybe it's just Maybe it's just me, but I feel secure having a title like husband, wife,
Yeah.
like, you know, and you know,
I
it
think
changes things when you have kids, and it becomes a family unit, and I love that. I think there's something beautiful about it, but it's been ruined. I think this generation has destroyed the institution of marriage. They do it as if they're like I don't know, eating a hamburger. They're like, oh, you know what? I feel like getting married today, and unfortunately, a lot of girls have. Gotten married for the wrong reasons, whether it's financial gain or status or whatnot.
That I disagree with. For instance, kids just get married because of that. It's been like this all the time. And then in terms of like the people sticking to the relationship, I'm gonna give you some facts. There are not that many facts about Iran, unfortunately, because the statistics are all bullshit, but 40 to 50% of married couples in the United States divorce. 55% of marriages happening across the globe are arranged marriages. So they're all going to like end up in an unhappy relationship or divorce. So what I'm saying is, if you have properties and cars and money, get married. If you have children, get married, because the court will give you more rights over those. But if you think, okay, as a nice, beautiful thing, okay, you want to wear a white dress and have everyone party, just celebrate your love. But for me, it's all just like on paper, and it's all forced, and it's pretentious. Everyone will be happy once you are married. They don't care what will exactly go into your personal life, and they're just happy that, oh, my children are happy now, they're happily ever after. No, this is not going to happen.
It doesn't have to be that way, though. I do agree. Actually, I think
it doesn't have to be.
Iran is ranked 14th in the world when it comes to divorce. Russia's number one. I don't know why. It just is. But the point being that it's like Iran is ranked higher than a lot of European countries. You know, that blew my mind. So that tells you that something is wrong. Like people, and actually I forget I had the rates somewhere. The child marriages are like, a lot of the divorce comes from women aged 16 to 20 years old, like basically teenagers that are getting married off by their families because that's seen as the way of life, basically. So there is an issue there that needs to be addressed. Like, why is there so much pressure to get married? That should be the individual's choice, whether they want to get married and when they want to get married.
But I feel like it's okay. We're talking about Persian families, right? It's different from Persian families that are not living in Iran.
How so?
Because a lot of Persian families that were here and their kids were born here, they're still Persian, but they really don't give that much shit.
Pressure about marriage? Are you kidding me? I'm literally a kid that was born and raised in the West, and I was taken out of soccer so I could be preserved for marriage.
That's weird to me.
That is, I mean, maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
No, because it's Canada,
I'm a product
right? Because it's Canada, and people want to fit in, and that's not a thing in Canada. Like girls have
disagree.
To get married.
Are you kidding me?
The girls have to get married.
We can vote and see like what our audience will say about that. I can't wait to hear people's opinions about it, because I think it's going to be more towards Kyan's experience than Taraneh's with Iranian families, because Taraneh, what I think
outside
is that,
of Iran,
especially with Iranian families outside Iran, they want to persevere. Persian culture.
Gotcha.
And they don't want to let go of the culture, so they want to like force their children to stick to the culture.
But I have so many. All my friends are literally the ones that came to Canada when they were one, or they were born here. Most of my friends, and they're like in their 20s now, and their families don't even talk about marriage. That's my experience, and I have a lot of experience. I mean, I have a lot of friends because I'm really friendly and social.
Are you sure?
No, you said something else. You said you have a lot of experience, my darling.
No, I meant friends. Experience too. A lot of it.
Listen, I think it's the attitude towards marriage. Like, it can be a beautiful thing if it's two individuals that have their own identity, their own careers, their own lives that come together and build a team. That can be a beautiful thing. But I will say, I've known a lot of Persian girls in the West. One example, I know a dentist who has her own life and career, and she has blatantly told me that I want to get married and then I don't want to work anymore. Like, there is that too. There's this attitude that when I get married, married, I'm going to stay home and enjoy life, and my husband is going to be the breadwinner. See, that is wrong. That is why divorce rates are so fucking high, because they're getting married for, like, okay, how is that okay?
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of
okay.
Persian women get married, and that's all
they
they
think
do
that's
is
their
to sit
ticket
home.
to exactly, and that's
Not
the
working.
problem. The other thing I notice actually is that when in our culture, when they say a man wants to get a wife, like get married, they say zan gerefte, zan mi, or like he's literally taking a wife.
He got a
The
woman.
opposite end of that, when a woman is getting married, they say,
Sharish dadan.
Sharish dadan, like
They
they gave her
her.
away. Like that is so
Another
wrong to
thing
me. We
that
need
I
to
would
change
like
this
to
language.
say,
Yeah.
that's a great thing that you said, because it
Yeah,
also is something about the words shohar and zan. Zan means woman. Shohar means husband. Husband, if we like track its origin, it comes from, I don't know, some like Anglo-Danish northern thing.
What are you on about? Go on.
I don't remember.
Come on, get to the point.
Anyway, like back to Latin, husband means the resident of the household. Husband,
The
husbandy
landowner.
or something like that. And wife means a female person.
I mean,
Wow.
okay.
Oh
But-
my god.
What do you mean a female person? Like, isn't that a fact? A wife is a female person. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, so like husband, the owner of the house, and a female person living there.
Oh, I see. Like, she can't be the landowner because she's a female person. Okay.
But okay, in Persian families, does it matter if you get married or who you get married to?
Dude, it's all about who you marry. If he's not a doctor, an engineer, or what's the third one? Doctor, engineer, lawyer. I mean, it goes like this. Doctor, is it lawyer or engineer? I don't know.
Engineer.
There's a hierarchy
Absolutely.
of who you marry.
Doctor, engineer, hello.
Yeah, so like that, I don't know about you guys, but my whole life.
Dentist very high, but surgeons are very, very high.
Oh, that's like elite level.
Yeah.
Of marriage.
Doctor,
I will
lawyer,
say from my
engineer.
yeah.
No.
I mean, what?
Engineers make more money.
She would know that.
What?
okay?
I went to
No.
school for engineering, but then
Oh
I
my
dropped out,
God,
so I
no.
know.
So now you want to marry one?
No, I don't like them. That's why I dropped out. No hot guys in engineering.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know.
That's why I dropped out. So
Dude,
boring.
I will say, like my whole upbringing, it's been basically drilled into my head. Like I don't know why, but my mom would basically say, "Oh, like the doctors will never cheat on you. Like doctors, like
God.
the elite
Oh, they're the
excited."
biggest
And
cheaters.
I would never listen. I'd be like, whatever. And somehow, like subconsciously, it must have affected me because in my dating history, it's been doctors. I'm ashamed to
Oh
say.
my God, good
I
for
know
you.
it, but it's sad.
No,
like there
doctors are.
no, I have dated
doing,
other.
Taraneh?
Baba,
She's trying to find a doctor. Okay, leave her alone.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I like
so-
lipstick.
So,
Maybe show
there is a
your lips that are having fillers,
Guys, I was
so that
speaking.
you can get the doctors to be more interested in the fillers.
Just watch how natural they are, though.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
as I was saying, there is a difference. You don't just get married to anybody. Like if I was to get married to a shop, like a clerk
Post
or something,
office.
a post office worker.
Yes.
It's like, no,
No offense
how
to
could
them.
you? No offense to
Yeah.
them, but there is like an
That's also
expectation.
different. Like,
even
that
even if their
Let me
kid,
tell you
their daughter
something.
doesn't even have a degree, they still want them to get married to a doctor. Like you
Yeah.
gotta level up to like get a doctor.
You're saying
Yeah.
you, like marry up? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm saying that their daughter has no degree, but they still want her to get married to a doctor. They should be compatible. Like
I agree. Yeah, well, that goes back to getting married for the wrong reasons. Like that,
Yeah.
like if you're getting married just to change your status in life, that's not going to
Okay,
work.
Khan
That's-
I
Doctor,
mean,
they
you
call
know
you.
what?
How
In
is that gonna-
both ways, it's fucked up because there's a big, huge pressure on guys that they should only become what doctor, lawyer, or the
Yeah,
other
true.
one.
Yeah.
And women should get married to find one of these. So it's all fucked up. I think we have to like
reevaluate our.
reevaluate our culture and
Yeah.
just like ask parents to kindly leave
Yeah,
the
I think we just need to
Leave us the fuck alone.
normalize. Yeah, exactly. Just normalize not being married. What's wrong with that?
Parental
Like, it should be-
expectations, they really, really matter in Persian culture, because even my mom that doesn't want me to get married and wants me to get married really, really late, if I go up to her and I tell her I have a boyfriend, first thing she asks, like, what does he do? You know?
I mean, can you blame her? It's built in. It's ingrained into the culture.
That's
she doesn't,
the
she doesn't
thing,
ask,
like,
is he a good guy?
Would your parents be okay if you made more money than your partner, and then they would like
That's
be
none of my
happy
parents'
with you guys
business.
getting
Guys,
married
that's a
to
whole
them?
other subject. We'll get to that at some point. Trust me on that. I have plenty of stories about that. So listen, my advice to Persian girls out there: if you want to get married, it's up to you. It's a total choice. You can get married, not get married. But if you do get married, marry for the right reasons. Marry because you love the other person and you want to keep your own individuality, and you're just joining and creating a partnership. Don't get married to change your status, your financial situation. So that's all I got to say.
Yes,
Do
ladies,
you guys have any advice?
You should never, ever give a shit about what people think of you and what people say, because they always say it anyways. And the thing is, you should live your own life. Don't think about guys, because guys do come to you because they want to be a part of a woman's interesting life. So make your own life interesting. Fuck them. They'll come to you. Don't get married, though. Get married late, Dr. Holakouи said.
And if you are not a heterosexual cisgender
Don't fuck them. I like them.
person,
Sorry.
feel free to find anyone you love and you like. It doesn't have to be the opposite sex. Like, hopefully you live in a free country. And if you decide to get married, don't. Thank you. Also, before we finish this episode, we want to first thank you everybody who listened to this episode.
To UPG.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, wherever we have our social media. It's all
UPG.official
on the website. And
it's UPG.official, the Instagram, right?
And talk about us.
You don't hear me?
UPG, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. And leave me comments, me specific.
Just
Oh
her.
my God.
Tell
Not just me, but mention my name if you like me and stuff.
guys, she's actually
worry.
looking for a
Without
husband,
you saying,
okay?
people are going to
No, I'm
mention
not.
you.
No, I just want them to
For the wrong
choose me.
reason.
Shoot me again.
All
Never
right.
mind. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And we will see you soon on our
Later.
next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.